Hello everyone, I'm Argama Witch, and this is kind of like a devlog, but not really. This is a video on explaining how I use AI in the pre-production of my game and other ways I use it in my life. Now to start off, I'm all for using AI as a tool. However, I do not believe AI should be used to take jobs away from people. That being said, there's an argument that anytime AI is used, that it could be taking a job away from somebody. It's a very touchy subject, and I understand that this is going to be met with a lot of hate or different opinions, and that's okay. We're all allowed and entitled to our opinions. But for the sake of transparency, I figured I'd share how I use it myself in respect to my game. When it comes to Past Mood Towards the Sun, which is the visual novel that I'm working on, and you can wishlist right now on Steam, gotta be plugging, plug. I've used AI in many ways in that game, in the pre-production of the game. When I'm writing the story, there'll be times where I need to transition from one scene to another, and I may feel really lost, and I don't have too many people to bounce ideas off of without, like, spoiling the game for them, so I often turn to, like, ChatGPT. An example, and keep in mind this is not actually part of the game, I'm making up this scenario specifically to not spoil anything, but let's say Colleen is leaving school, but I need her to have a certain pair of earrings for the next day, and I'm not sure how or why she would suddenly have these. So I would ask AI for some ideas, and it may come back with like, oh, maybe she decides to go to the mall, or maybe she finds them on the street, or maybe she asks her friend to go shopping with her, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's great, let's go with that. But instead of like asking like Sarah, it's gonna be Brandon, because maybe he wants to get Sarah something, like a gift, and he wants a girl's perspective, so he's like, hey, Colleen, come on, we gotta go to the mall, and while she's at the mall, you know, she can spot the earrings. It's perfect, and it moves everything quite along, and it explains why she's got this and blah 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 blah. It's not AI writing it for me, it is just helping me like brainstorm ideas. And like real people can do this too, but again, like I said, the people that I talk to, like, they also want to play the game, I don't want to give them spoilers, so on. Another thing I use ChatGPT for is when I'm working on my made-up language. In my game, there's a language called Aruha, and I've created a system on how you would like translate or conjugate and like have your tenses and whatever. It's a bit to remember, but I do have like a sheet that explains it. But I came up with that, and along with about 100 to 150 words, and then I gave it all to ChatGPT, and I go, hey, this is Aruha. I need you to translate this sentence, that's in English, to Aruha. And it would. And most of the time it was pretty accurate. A few times it really messed up. I don't know what it did, but like I can go back in and fix it at that point. But, there were also times where if I didn't have a word, ChatGPT would make up a word based upon how I created the other words, but they would always be small. And those I'd often just like leave them. I didn't really care too much. It'd be like on top of, like, maybe the word, it was like on top of, and I just didn't have on top of, like, on top as over. And so, like, it would just have to create that, but I just call it like Van Blinga Blobber, and it doesn't really matter. It's just and this is something like I could have done for myself, but it just saves me so much time, especially when I'm writing the story in bed at night. So if you didn't know, because I don't think I mentioned this, but like I would work on writing part of the chapters at night before bed, because it was the only time I had where my dog wasn't constantly needy and needing me. And for me, when I need to become creative, I need like silence, or else I'll lose that like kind of train of thought process. So I would also often do it in bed at night, which is really hard to go back and reference my materials for, like, I need something. Instead, I could just pop into ChatGPT being like, all right, this is the Aruha chat, please translate this, and then I can go check it the next day. I also would use like ChatGPT to help find errors in my code if I couldn't figure it out. Usually I'd try Googling everything, and then if I just couldn't figure it out, I'd paste it into ChatGPT and be like, this is what it's supposed to do, why isn't it working? And it may come back with a solution, but truth be told, it's really bad at Ren'Py, and like most of the time it never works. But it would explain errors to me in a way that I'd understand, so I could find the problem myself. Or sometimes it was just like a dyslexic thing where I would get things mixed up, like just two things flipped around and I just could not see it. So this is useful for that. I also have like an AI reader that would read my stories while I'm editing, so I could hear what it sounds like. Because, like I mentioned, I have dyslexia. Sometimes I struggle to like see mistakes that I've written because, like, in my mind it's correct, but when I'm listening to it, I can hear the mistake. And I'm like, oh no, that's wrong. Let's fix it. This is what I want it to sound like. And so I use it, you know, that way to help me edit. Another way I used AI in my game is for placeholder art. Now, I know this one's probably going to be the most controversial, but when I'm planning a chapter out, I'll use AI generated, like, just low res, whatever, to throw in as a placeholder. So, like, when I made the demo, I needed, like, a school, a street, a cafe, a park. And so I would just, like, generate those and throw them in as kind of placeholders as I'm, like, setting up where I want each scene to transition. And then I would decide on the characters and their expressions, which I did with stick figures. So I have a bunch of weird stick figure expressions. And then later when I was doing the artwork, I would go like, okay, school, we'll draw a school, and, you know, a park, whatever. And usually they look nothing alike at all because they were so inconsistent. But sometimes they might have something in them and I'd be like, oh, let me add that. Like, this has a fence around the park. That fucking makes sense. I don't know why I didn't think about doing that. Let's add a fence here. But yeah, mostly it was just for me to keep visually a track of things, like, you know what I need to do and what I need to make, and I just have this visualization key. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? I had something that I could visually see that I needed to get done, being like, oh, we have an AI picture here, I need to replace that with a non-AI picture, and I have this here, I gotta do this. And honestly, it would be no different than just me Googling and picking random pictures and putting it in the background just as a placeholder. The AI is a little easier for me because I don't have to, like, sit there and, like, futz about and just be like, high school, and then it comes up with a random high school picture, like cafe, and it's a cafe picture, you know. So it's like, meh. Another thing I do is AI music, and people who watch my Twitch know I'm no stranger to AI music. In fact, if you're here on my YouTube, you've probably seen some of my AI music. I use it a lot for my BRB screens on Twitch because it's stupid and fun, and it does me squat, and I don't really care if it's there or not. It's just something to kind of distract, and it makes really stupid songs. It's really fun. That being said, in my game, I may want, like, a certain bit of music for a scene, something like, maybe I want something tense and, like, a growing, like, or so, I don't know, like, I have trouble, like, articulating what I want in music because I don't know the proper terminology, and, like, I've tried learning, but I don't understand without examples, and I'm having a hell of a time trying to find examples of certain terminology. So for me, I just go and I'll, like, futz about Suno, and I will, like, try to get something approximately what I'm looking for. And then when I send that chapter to my composer, I'm like, all right, here, and then also this piece I like at this scene here. Can we kind of keep that vibe in the scene? And so they will make something along that lines. And that way they aren't wasting too much time trying to figure out what the hell I'm saying, because sometimes I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. It's like I know what I want, and I just don't know how to get the words out of my mouth. There are also some times where I write a song and I need music to it, so I'll throw it into Suno and just keep regenerating until I get, like, a sound that I like or that I kind of want. And then I'll take the song, and then I'll take my lyrics that I wrote, and I'll hand them off to a composer and a vocalist to recreate it. Sometimes I'll let the composer have a bit more free reign. They often just mimic closely what the AI created, and that's fine, like, whatever. And then the lyrics are something I worked on myself, so I don't really give too much free reign there, but maybe a little change here and there as long as it's, you know, I approve of it in the end. And that's mostly, that's just that. Like, it is recreated from, like, some AI, but it is a paid person getting money for it, and they're, you know, working on this. Also, I will use AI, either the one that will read my, like, story, the AI reader, or I might use Suno to read aruha, like stretches of aruha, so that people who are going to be singing or doing the voice acting can hear what it sounds and then they can copy phonetically, as opposed to trying to read it out, because it's really more difficult to do it that way. Also, kudos to Sui Ren. She did an amazing job. She sings in aruha, and I was so thrilled. So this seems like I'm using AI a lot, and in a sense I am, but almost everything at the end of the day is created by real people, and I'm using AI here as a tool to help me plan out and brainstorm and even fix mistakes that I otherwise wouldn't be able to do myself. And I'm sure that there are jobs or people who I could hire for this, however, I don't have money for that. It's why I'm doing as much as I can myself. I'm doing the art, I'm doing the rigging, I'm doing the backgrounds, I'm doing characters, I'm writing the stories, I'm coding the games, I'm voice acting in it. I've tried some Foley work, and I will tell you what, that doesn't work very well when you have a dog that makes a lot of noise. I even tried singing, but I can't hold a tune with a bucket. Look, you guys heard me sing on here before. I'm not, I've tried. And I'm not, like, complaining, but, like, the work that I do have and the limited funds tend to be saved for the music and the actors. And I don't get any wage in this, so my money, or that will come back in, that I've spent on this won't happen until after I release the game. And even then, there's a high likelihood it'll be nowhere near the amount that I've put into it. But that's fine. It is what it is. I'm just explaining my usage of this. That being said, I also use AI outside my game. I have used it to come up with a daily schedule for me. I'd be like, hey, I need a break here. Like, I want to start my day at this time, and I need to walk my dog. I need to have time to make and eat breakfast. I need time to work. I need to work out. I need time to have my lunch and to make and eat my lunch. I want time to clean. I want time to take a shower. I want time to have dinner. And I want some wind down time, and I want to be in bed about this time. And so I gave it all that, and then just shot me back a schedule, and then I, like, worked with it a bit and was like, all right, let's move this here, and let's make this longer, this shorter. And now I have a schedule, and I'm trying to keep with it, but damn, if I can only just get my insomnia in order. Oh, AI, can you please fix my insomnia? But yeah, so, like, I've used it for that. It's also created a spreadsheet for me to help me track and monitor my IBS symptoms, because, like, I suffer from IBS, and some days it's really bad to where I can't, like, work or I can't stream, and that really sucks. So it suggested that I track it, and it gave me an actual spreadsheet to download where I put in everything, and I was very surprised with that. And it's to help me eventually find the root cause, which I can take to my doctor. It also created an entire program from scratch in Python for me, for my husband. It is to allow him to figure out what foods that I want to eat when I'm suffering from executive dysfunction. Because there are times where I just can't make up my goddamn mind, and I can't think, and, like, I'm so overwhelmed. And he's like, so what do you want for dinner? And I'm like, I don't know. I just know I want something healthy, but I don't want a salad. And this program that I created with ChatGPT, and it wrote most of it, has a list of all of my local restaurants and some easy home meals, and that they're tagged with things that my husband can click on to either make sure it has or doesn't have in its search function. And I guess I kind of use it like a personal assistant, especially when I'm feeling overwhelmed and I need things organized and set out in a way I can approach it. And if I'm just, like, if I feel spread too thin and I'm like, well, I need to figure out, like, how to do this, that, and the other thing, it can help me organize, like, let's work on this today, and we can work on this tomorrow, and this on the next day, and here's when you can work on it, and if you're struggling, we can have this gap here, and so on and so forth. With all this being said, I understand that people can be really uncomfortable with AI, and that's... And like, I know that a lot of models are trained with stolen content, and I assure you my game and how I use it is strictly a tool to assist me. It's like a ruler or a calendar, and I go out of my way to make sure as many real people are working on this game as possible. My editors are real people, my composers are real people, the vocalists are real people, the voice actors are real people, and usually I will go to my husband to help with coding issues, but if he's not here, sometimes I will turn to the AI to help with that. But for the most part, I do as much as I can with real life people. This is just a help on the side. So I just hope this helps people understand how I use AI as a tool and how I'm using it. And yeah, if you wish to support me or my game, you can wishlist it now over on Patreon. It's called Pass the Moon Towards the Sun. I'll have a link down in the description. And if you want to fund the game, I have a Patreon. It's as low as $1 a month. All of that money goes towards the game. Anything from Twitch, like Twitch subs or bits or whatever, donations, whatever, that all also goes towards my game. I am working my ass off on it. And so are a bunch of other people. So yeah, I want you to know that, and I hope you all have a great day, and I hope this doesn't really change your opinion too much on it, but yeah, if it does, I'm sorry. I just want to be clear and transparent, but have a great day, and remember that I love you and appreciate you. Okay, bye.